Hello, this is Neo from masterpaintingnow.com. Check out my over 300 plus free video tutorials. The link is on the website. Right, so I wasn't happy with the last pinup tutorial, and other people weren't happy with it, so that means redo it, right? Someone said that her back leg was incorrect, but I checked it in Dad's studio with the limits on just to make sure, and it was fine. The illusion was caused from the wall, the angle of the wall, and the shadow going across her leg. But her shoulder was messed up, and I didn't like her hands at all. I was lazy with it, so let's do it again. And also, I was trying to accomplish too much with the pose. Trying to press her breast against the wall and then have her butt out and see both, see the backside of her butt a little bit, from a 3/4 angle. I was just trying to accomplish too much. So instead, I have a similar idea, but anyway, we'll get to it. So what makes a sexy pinup is not necessarily the body type. The body type can be all different kinds of types. People are interested in different body types and find different body types sexy. But what will make a pose sexy is even if they're in clothes, it still looks sexy. So it's the action they're doing. It's the pose they're doing. It's the action they're performing. That's what makes it sexy. So I have this idea then, very similar to the last one, and I'm going to start really small here. So this will be the head. The head area is going to fit in here. And I'm actually going to have it at a slight 3/4 view, so I just want to kind of get that concept in there now. And then I'm going to have the neck will kind of come straight down. Now here's the main thing I want to do. I want to have this part of the body kind of going straight up and down like this. So this is like, her rib cage and stuff. Her arm hole will be located somewhere over here. We're going to have a side view. So this will come down like this. Her collarbone be like in there somewhere. All right, so it's kind of straight up and down view here. So it's going to kind of come down like this, and then it's going to come out this way. Then it's going to come down again straight. So this is going to kind of have that pushed out effect. So that's the kind of look I'm going for. So I come down like this, and then I need to push the angle of her belly this way. And I'm going to work with angles for now. Let's go ahead and push this. And actually I'm going to push this back part here even more. And make the shoulder over here more like that. I'm going to have this kind of push off here. And I want it to be at pretty much the same angle as this here, but it's going to kind of come up just a little bit off because her butt is going to raise up. And so I'm, working with curves here and trying to figure out the curvature of the body that I want. Her leg will kind of come down like this. I'm thinking that looks good. I'm going to zoom out a little bit more. Really small thumbnail. This will help just kind of the knee will be somewhere in there, and then the leg will kind of come out. It'll come in, come out and down. Okay, so that's pretty long legs. I don't know if I want to go with that long of legs, so I might actually reduce the leg size and the length of the legs. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to reduce the length size. Let's go ahead and pull this back a little bit further again like this. Round the butt out just a little bit more. Reduce the leg size here. And then kind of put the knee in here. Have this muscle kind of come like this. This muscle comes, the skin that comes there. And then I'm going to kind of pull the calf out like this. And you ultimately want that kind of, I want that kind of shape there. And that's going out too far, so I'll get rid of that line. Finally, I kind of like to draw the ankle going into the ball of the foot like this. And then I'm going to have her foot coming down and like this because she's going to be in high heels. So like that, and then I'll put her in high heels. Right, so next, when I have this curve here, I want to make sure that want the shoulder up high because pulling the shoulder up is usually always sexy when a girl pulls her shoulder up, especially from a side view. It's usually makes a sexy pose. The breast will come off the rib cage. I'm going to come down with the rib cage a little bit and then come in and I'm just trying to see how much of the waist. I think I want the waist to be a little bit longer than that, so that's easy fix. Just kind of grab this part here. That's what I like about Photoshop is you can just like kind of pull and rearrange things really fast, whereas with sketching you'd have to like kind of resketch the whole thing again. Okay, so I'm going to come up. I'm going to kind of pull this into the body a little bit like this, and then let's see here. I'm trying to think how I want this to go. Pull that a little bit higher. Just trying to think if I want her butt actually sticking out that much. So I'm just trying to get that, that side, so that this shape here from this shape here from the side view, I'm trying to make sure I get that in there. And then you'll have this kind of thing kind of like this. And this will be most likely all in shadow. Just depends on where the light is coming from exactly. And so this whole back is pretty straight. And it comes up to there. And kind of zoom out, make sure everything's looking right. Looks like it's looking okay so far. Now this leg here, I'm gonna, it comes back there. So I'm imagining drawing through the figure, and I'm coming forward. How far I want her leg to go. And I know it's gonna come right around here somewhere, so I'm gonna just kind of draw an angle there, like a guide angle to kind of get me where I need to go. First thing is her knees gonna kind of round off. Remember, you have one bone here, one bone over here. Then you have that middle bone between it, the kneecap, which is a thin bone from the side like this. And what this will do is help you get that shape right there correct. And then this leg will kind of come off this way. And now I just want to pay attention to the size. So you have the calf muscle there. Pay attention to the leg. So it needs to be, this needs to be the same length as this here. So looks like it's about that long there. Go ahead and erase through here. Then just come back and give the shape that I want. Okay, now this heel I want pushed. I kind of want the foot kind of like coming down like this. And I want the heel kind of coming back a little bit. So because she's in her high heels, but I want the heel kind of pointed that way. And so I have to draw the foot to fit that way. Then we'll have the high heel come off here. All those lines are messed up. It's just because I'm not zoomed in far enough, but that's fine. I'll fix it in a second. And it's going to come. I got to zoom in to do this. It's just too far away to get any accuracy with your. And then it's going to come around the foot like this and come down to the front of the foot like that. Ankle will be more around here. And we'll come the foot here. And we'll start. And this, I want to make sure that have the angle of this wrong anyways. Because on high heels they kind of come down like this and then they come out like that. So, and then they come out kind of straight, kind of curve in, something like that. Then I can start curving it up, come down here, make sure this angle is the same as here. So something like that. And a lot of this stuff, get rid of it. Alright, so see if I didn't make her foot too big. No, it looks fine. Come and start getting rid of certain lines here and there that I don't like. And let's go back to her head. I need to make her head a little bit bigger now for her body. Make her neck a little bit bigger. Let me make sure I got this about right. It's good when you look at the whole thing. It gives you a better idea of size. I want the head a little bit more facing us like that. Okay, that's about right. Okay, so now I know that I want her head to be kind of a slight 3/4 view, and also I know the chin's going to hang out. So let's see. So this will be like the middle, the nose, the mouth. Kind of just get the angles here. A slight 3/4 view, so the head's going to extend out this way a little bit further. The ear will be out here more. And then I think the head might be a little too big now. Okay, let's see how that looks from far away. I always recommend checking from far away and make sure everything's looking right. I'm thinking maybe her breast is a little too big, so I mean nothing wrong with having like super huge breasts, but I just don't know if I want her breast that big or not. Also, I can decide, how much gravity should pull them down. So, how worn out are the muscles and everything? How old is the person? All that comes into factor there. Right, so now I'm going to take her shoulder. It's going to come up. This is what I'm going to start doing kind of anatomy. First, I want her hand right about here. I want her to be blocking her nipple, be right about here. I want her to be blocking her nipple. So that way it's like PG-13 or whatever. It's not, no nipple showing. So that's basically what I'm trying to say. Part of her thumb will be hidden behind her hand. It'll be coming over that way. Then her fingers are going to only be, they're going to be partly bent. We're only going to be able to see part of them because they're going to be wrapping around her breast a little bit, kind of holding onto her shirt. And let's come down with the arm, how far down I think it would go. That's about how long that part of her arm would be. I'm going to go ahead and start getting rid of some of these lines here so they don't confuse me. And actually, you know what? I don't want her arm like that, so I want to be able to see that. The reason why is I want to be able to see this right here. I don't want to block that with her arm. So I want her elbow to be right in this area. So I want her arm to come out this way more. I think that curve is important to see in this case. Because if you can't see it, then it just looks odd. So I can maybe even pull the shoulder up a little bit higher. So let's come up right about here with her shoulder. I think that will work. Come off her arm this way, come down. That back muscle a little bit like that. And it will come like this, come down to the elbow. I think that's right. I gotta fix all these lines here because it's getting kind of messed up. So draw that collarbone kind of coming in there. Zoom out and just look at everything for a while. This is what I didn't do last time, is like zoom out and look at everything for a while, making sure everything's looking right. I want her to have super long legs. That's a style choice. So, but see, I'm starting to think maybe I made this part here too long, and I'm thinking that this should only come to about here and then kind of curve up a little bit like this. Maybe come up, curve a little bit shorter like that. And so I'm going to go ahead and cut off here and then grab the rest of her body. Let's kind of pull it in to where kind of be more like, well, I'm just trying to think, hold on. Might have to turn it up a little bit too like this. That way I can kind of get this side to be as long as I want it to, like that. This should work. So I want this side to be long, but this side shorter, so I needed to turn it that way. And I think that worked, so let's see here. And then I'll angle this a little bit different because it's kind of pushed out too far that way. Okay, so it's about as long as your thigh there, without the knee, so that's fine. I think that might work. One thing I might do a little bit though is I might shorten this. I think it's important to take the time to not skip this stage here where you're overlooking everything before you start really getting into the drawing. And I'm making sure I do that this time because I don't want to make any mistakes. And I'm sure I'll still make a mistake or so because, working fast and I'm talking a lot. So when you're talking and drawing at the same time, sometimes you miss things. So let's come down here. By the way, the thin ankles are also a style choice. I'm purposely making them thin. Based when I draw high heels, I remember the angle that it comes from the top of the ankle and it comes down to the toes. And so the foot has to be angled to fit into that kind of shape. And that's what I remember. And by remembering that, it just helps me draw high heels easier. Okay. Maybe ankle be a little bit higher. And it's just a matter of refining your sketch and everything. Make sure everything looks right. I think everything is looking pretty good. It's pretty solid. Her other shoulder's back there. It's being hidden from us out of view. The wall is still kind of, coming out at an angle at us. But it just doesn't really have to be leaning against the wall. But I guess she kind of does because of her balance. So that other shoulder, that other back shoulder up there is what's leaning against this wall. Okay, now I gotta decide what kind of clothes she's gonna wear. I think I'm gonna have the same kind of clothes as last time. And so she's holding, oh, I gotta work on her hands here really quick. I forgot about the hands. And so thumb is just kind of back there, being hidden. Okay, let's kind of erase some of this here, just kind of make it a little bit easier to see what I'm doing. Okay. Oops. Alright, so there's this knuckle here. Again, thumb's hiding behind there. And there's this knuckle, and this knuckle. And so this finger is going to kind of come out like this. We're seeing part of it because it's bending around and going back underneath her. So we see part of that one. We'll see part of this knuckle here, part of this knuckle here, and then the pinky I'm going to have kind of come out this way. And the pinky is coming back around like that, and that's probably the finger that's holding the shirt the most. Okay. And then all these kind of come down to a point. I don't want that. I want it to be more like that, so it doesn't. You don't want the. I don't know. It doesn't look right when the lines are run together like that. That little muscle right here before the elbow. It's an important muscle to remember. And remember that it does that when the arm is at that angle. Right. Okay. So now the shirt is going to kind of come like this and then across. And it'll be bunched up here, here, and here because she's pulling it up. It's wrapping around there. It's kind of like that. Remember she had a two top on? I'm going to just kind of clean all that up right there. Lines got a little messy. Right, so you have a few little wrinkles like that. So she's pulling her tube top up over her breast. And I think that's pretty sexy. Is girls taking their clothes off is always sexy.